Nordic walking versus zone 2 jogging. That's something I'm going to talk about today, so stick around. Hi, my name is Sachiaki Takamiya. I am the author of the Ikigai diet and Ikigai biohacking. Right. So today I'd like to talk about exercises. Right. So in the last video, I told you that now we know the optimal exercise, what kind of exercise are the best for longevity, yeah, and which are the kind of combination of cardiovascular exercise and strength training, right? Okay, so today I'd like to talk about cardiovascular exercise because that is very critical for longevity, yeah. And then I usually go Nordic walking, as you know. Yeah, I talk about Nordic walking all the time, right? So Nordic walking or walking, yeah, is considered to be very good for longevity, and so is jogging or running. And recently, people like Peter Attia talk about zone 2 training, yeah, and jogging is one of zone 2 trainings, yeah, and it is very beneficial. So, yeah, let's talk about Nordic walking and zone 2 jogging today. So, walking or Nordic walking, yeah. What are the benefits of walking and Nordic walking? Yeah. Number one, it is aerobic exercise, yeah, and it is good to do. According to Peter Attia, he does a zone 2 training like 4 times a week. But as I said in the last video, you don't need to seek the optimal exercise. Maybe, if you can reach 80%, that is probably okay. So maybe, 3 times a week or 5 times a week, whichever is convenient is good for you. But the key is the consistency. Like do it on a regular basis, right? Yeah, and then centenarians in blue zones practice walking. Yeah, so many centenarians in Icaria, Greece, and Sardinia, Italy, and in Japan. Yeah, they walk a lot. Yeah, so walking is one of the exercises the centenarians do. Yeah, and then adherence, right? So I find walking is easier than jogging or running. Yeah, um, I've been practicing walking or Nordic walking for many years now, and one of the reasons why I can continue doing it is because it is easy. Yeah, you don't need to even get changed to gym wear or anything. You can just go out with regular clothes and just to take a walk, and it's very easy and simple, yeah, and it is comfortable and relaxing too, yeah, and therefore you can meditate while you're walking, yeah, and I often practice what I call Shingon Kansha meditation during my Nordic walking, and because it is slow enough to kind of, I don't know, concentrate on the like meditation. Yeah. And also I can observe so many things in nature, like the rice field or some birds, and I can listen to the sound of birds and I can feel the air. I can really contemplate the surroundings, yeah, while I am walking, and it is a great mindfulness and meditation. Yeah. And this is the benefit of Nordic walking, but posture. Yeah, you can have a straight back while Nordic walking, and therefore I recommend Nordic walking more than walking because you can adjust your posture, and then walking with your straight spine is critical. Yeah, for anything, your posture is critical in your everyday movement. Yeah. So during Nordic walking, you can kind of correct your posture. And then once you condition yourself to walk with your back straight, and then you can keep your back straight throughout your day while you're sitting, while you're driving, yeah, while you're walking in the house. yeah, and so on. So it is a good way to condition yourself to have a correct posture. Yeah. Now, so jogging, yeah, the benefit of jogging is it is zone 2 aerobic exercise. Now, what is a zone 2 training? Um, according to your heart rate, there are 5 zones. Yeah, zone 1 to zone 5. And zone 1 is very light activity. Yeah, let's say you have a maximum heart rate. Yeah, and then zone 1 is about 50 to 60% of your maximum heart rate. Yeah, and then zone 2 is light and it is like 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. And then zone 3 is moderate, 70 to 80% of your maximum heart rate. And then zone 4, hard, 80 to 90% of your maximum heart rate. And then zone 5, maximum 90% to 100% of your maximum heart rate. Yeah. Um, and so there's a way to measure your maximum heart rate and the percentage of your heart rate. If you have a one of those like smart watch and things you can kind of measure, but um, even though if it's not accurate, you can kind of tell, right? So zone 2 is the one which is considered to be very effective for longevity, and that is when you are kind of jogging or walking, but you can kind of have a conversation, but still it is difficult to have a conversation. So you need to kind of breathe a little. Yeah, it's not easy to have a conversation, but you can kind of have a conversation. But once you get to zone 3, it becomes difficult to even hold a conversation. Yeah, you need to keep breathing, right? And then zone 1 is very easy to hold a conversation. So generally speaking, yeah, it really depends on the person's maximum heart rate and everything. But generally speaking, when you walk, you're probably in the zone 1. And when you jog slowly, you are in zone 2. But if you kind of run, like, kind of more like a running rather than jogging, then maybe you become zone 3 or zone 4, depending on the speed of your run. Yeah. And also it depending on whether you are running on a flat run or uphill, downhill, it changes too. Yeah. Um, Therefore, usually when you jog slowly, probably you are in the zone 2. Therefore, it is a zone 2 training. But when you go walking, depending on the speed of your walk, it may not be a zone 2 training. Yeah. In my case, I go Nordic walking, and on the way is slightly downhill, and on the way back is slightly uphill. And usually, the latter part of my walk is a kind of zone 2 because it's slightly harder. Yeah, but on the way to get there is maybe zone 1. So I kind of have a zone 1 and zone 2 training during my Nordic walking, right? Okay, so let's look at jogging. Yeah, so it is zone 2 exercise, and you feel you've done the exercise, it has a kind of placebo effect in that sense, because when you go walking, you don't feel it is like an exercise. I mean, it can be an exercise if you do it kind of regularly and if you do it as a certain kind of routine. And like in my case, it is an exercise. But, when you just go for walk, sometimes you don't feel you've done enough. Yeah. But when you go jogging, because you get changed to gym clothes too. So you definitely feel you have done the exercise. Yeah, therefore it has a placebo effect. However, there are some problems too. Like, it is often said that you can damage your knee, especially if you run on a concrete road. Yeah, I am lucky enough to be able to run on a kind of a soil or like a grass, yeah. But if you live in cities, it is very difficult. So you can damage your knee if you run too much, yeah. And then it is harder to do. Yeah. So when you talk about adherence, it is more difficult. Yeah. I mean, if you are one of those people who have gone jogging throughout your life, or when you're young, you went jogging every day and so on. The people who have done some kind of sport, maybe it isn't so hard to do. But people who haven't done much sport, or people who haven't done any exercises for the last 10 to 20 years, I think it is very difficult to start jogging. Maybe walking is much easier to, yeah, begin. Yeah. And therefore, in order to continue doing the exercise, I think in that sense, walking or Nordic walking is easier than jogging. Okay. Um, but then jogging is, zone two. Yeah. I mean, unless you walk very fast or you kind of walk uphill, uh, yeah, usually jogging is easier way to make it a zone two training. Yeah. So what can you do? Yeah. Well, one thing is you just choose whatever you like, whichever you can enjoy, because again, you don't need to make it optimal. Yeah. I mean, walking is great enough. Even though it is a zone one training, I think if you do it consistently, it has a benefit for your health and longevity. Yeah. At least I think it is 80% good. So whichever is okay. Yeah. But if we want to optimize, even bit more, then I kind of came up with one idea, and that is to combine the zone one and zone two. So let's say you want to do the cardio exercise for 5 days a week. Yeah. Like on Monday, you can go Nordic walking for 45 minutes. Yeah. And then Tuesday, Nordic walking 45 minutes. And then Wednesday, zone two jogging 45 minutes. And then Thursday, Nordic walking 45 minutes. And Friday, Nordic walking 45 minutes. Yeah, right. And then I have this BWHIIT, that's a body weight hit. Yeah, so body weight high intensity interval training. This is the strength training I do 3 times a week. So in my case, I do that on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and I have a rest on Sunday. Yeah. Um, so this is the plan if you want to do a cardio 5 days a week. Okay. And then if you want to do 3 days a week of cardio, yeah, especially if you're doing strength training, right? For example, I do body weight HIIT on Tuesday, Thursday, yeah. So I don't want to do uh, cardio exercise on top of it. It's a little too much. So I kind of changed my plan and I started doing cardio just 3 times a week. Yeah. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yeah. So in that case, I can just incorporate zone two in one of the days. So just maybe on Wednesday, I do zone two jogging, but Monday and Friday, I do Nordic walking. Yeah, right. So Peter Thiel says like 4 days a week, like 4 days a week of 45 minutes of zone two training. It's something he recommends. Yeah. But so you can do that too. Yeah, 4 days a week is also good. But I find kind of 5 days a week very easy to remember because during the week you just exercise, yeah. And then rest on the weekend. It's kind of easy to remember. And 3 times a week is a kind of good rhythm. Like when I went to the gym, I used to go to the gym 3 times a week, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it's a one day exercise, next day rest. It's a kind of good rhythm to just make it a part of your routine, right? Okay, so what do you want to do with the body weight HIIT? Okay, I will talk about it in another video because that will take much longer time to just cover exactly what kind of exercise you can do as a strength training. And also, I want to make it as HIIT, high intensity interval training, because that has another benefit. Yeah. And then Peter Attia talks about doing like 1 day of high intensity kind of a cardio exercise. Yeah. So I'm kind of incorporating, strength training and high intensity cardio by using HIIT. But I will talk more about it in detail when I make the video about the strength training. Okay, yeah. So if you like, you can combine both. But the bottom line is, you can do whatever you like. You can just go walking or Nordic walking or zone 2 jogging, or you can combine both. Right. Okay, so thank you for watching. Again, my name is Sachiaki Takamiya. I am the author of the Ikigai diet and Ikigai biohacking based on Japanese natural health. Okay, so if you like this video, please give me your thumb up and subscribe to my channel. Please hit that subscribe button and please leave your comment. Yeah, what is the optimal exercise for you? Yeah, what is your experience about doing walking, Nordic walking, or jogging? All right, I'll see you in the next video. Live with your Ikigai.